I mean, first I want to touch up on mobility, right? A lot of people blow themselves in through the roof on these workouts, and they start doing all these consistent classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm like, when is your rest day? When do you when do you take a break to like sit on a foam roller? When do you do some like active like release, some dynamic stretching? Probably like 1 out of 5 will actually say, "Oh yeah, I foam rolled today while I was watching some Netflix." So at the end of my workouts, I foam roll at the end of all of my classes. I introduce that to people, and that's key. Like people don't really take mobility serious. You stretch your body, you do mobility work, you're gonna sleep better. You probably wake up even less sore. I'm not gonna say not sore at all, right? But you are decreasing, the chances of you becoming super, super sore by doing mobility work. The amount of hours that you get sleep, you should be getting anywhere between, I want to say 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and that's tough.
You see, everybody says it's tough, but it's preparation.
Yeah,
It's habitual
yeah.
preparation, right? It becomes a habit.
Well, speaking on tough from self experience, from being a dad with two autistic boys, like it can be tough. So I know what that is. I know what comes with that. Like so I've been on the other end. So I do say when I do understand when somebody says, it's tough for me to have this. I got my kids and this and like I get it. You know.
I get it too. So I get it. It's we're all normal. I
Yeah.
don't get 8 hours every day. I try.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I
No,
try the
I
most.
try for sure.
But when people tell me that, I first say I take a step back and I say, how about we go over your schedule? Because you say that you don't have the time.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, like eight out of 10 clients will turn around and say they don't have the time, but they really do. It's just they're not using it properly.
Yeah. Oh, we're
So
just scrolling down the phone on
perfect
yeah.
example is the hour before bed, right?
Yeah.
So number one thing is like before you go to bed, you get 45 minutes to an hour to relax, which means phones away, TV screens off, and that gives you your body into a state of relaxation, right? And so you see all these lights everywhere, everything. Your body thinks, even if you're indoors, that it's daylight. So if you have lights on at 8, 9, or 10 o'clock that you want to go to sleep, whether it's an Alexa light on or your phone not flipped over so it has a little brightness, you're not going to get that amazing great sleep for
Yeah.
recovery because your body, even if there's a little light in the room, will subconsciously think
Yeah, you got
that,
that.
oh,
Yeah.
sunrise is coming. It's not sunset, it's sunrise,
Yeah.
right? And so you're not going to get the full benefits of the 8 hour sleep.
Yeah.
And what I like to tell clients is being away from these electronic devices 45 minutes before bed will allow you to calm. And then when you do go to bed, you're not going to have that restful sleep where that unrestful sleep where you're tossing and turning all the time, right? Because a lot of people will say, hey, I lie down, but for some reason it takes me an hour to 2 hours to sleep because there's also a lot of things going on in your
Yeah.
mind, right? Because now
Yeah.
you're at
You just
peace.
gotta,
And
yeah, you just gotta just shut it all off. I mean, like my son will give me a hard time to go to bed, and he's like, "No, I don't want to go to bed." I'm like, "Mace, you gotta get sleep. You gotta get your sleep. You gotta, And like, soon as like all the lights go off, that's it. He's lights out, and it applies to what you say. Turn everything off. Set the mood in the room. Close those eyes and get that rest.
that rest is super important,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I mean, for the daily function of life, I know that people can't sometimes because it's a busy schedule, like you mentioned, the 8 hours. But if
Yeah,
you can do it at least a couple days a week to start.
highly recommend.
Eventually, the feeling that you get, you're gonna make it a priority, right? Because
Yeah,
a lot of people make other things priority, right? I mean, my main thing and why I developed that meal prep the way it is, where we give you the 5 days of
hmm
meals, Monday through Friday, 3 meals a
even
day.
though I think we need seven, I'm just saying.
But you see, but you know what? There for everyone to use that say I need seven, a lot of the people are like, listen, I love it because I now can dictate what I do Saturday and
Oh yeah,
Sunday,
for sure.
right? Because
It's helped me
now,
tremendously.
now, now, what you're doing now is
Yeah,
you're making smarter decisions
yeah,
on your own on Saturday Sunday because I want my clients to enjoy life too as well, right? Because
yeah,
if you're just secluded to doing these meal preps and these diets and these meals all the time, and then you get invited out to a client dinner or something like that, you're kind of all over the
yeah,
place, right?
yeah,
Because you're not knowing, oh man, what should I do? I'm on my own right now. So I like to train our clients to be like, hey, listen, Monday through Friday, let's be strict with our training, our diet, our water intake, and everything else. And then let's lead into Saturday and Sunday and see what we could do Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah.
right? My main thing would be like when people sign up first, it's like whatever you do for these 5 days, try to emulate it on Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah,
but
that's what I do.
portion wise.
Yeah, so
Like just take your what you see that you're normally supposed to eat during the
yeah,
week, and when you go out on the weekends, watch what happens when you go to a restaurant and you order a
yeah.
meal and how much more it is.
To jump in on that. So literally I started the week of Thanksgiving. It was a tough week. I was like, when I ordered, I was like, it's Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving week. And honestly, the few days that I started at the beginning of the week, Thanksgiving, I think it was like Thursday, Friday. I went to my mom's house. She was like, "Do you want this?" And I was like, "No, no, you're gonna give me about this much of this, this much of that," and it actually kept me in line. And I just picked up from there, and it's been good.
And then I'm sure now, 4 weeks into it, if I give you a meal that you used to eat in October and you try to eat it now, you probably won't
Yeah.
because you were probably overeating.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah,
when you've developed a 4 week
yeah,
pattern, your
yeah,
stomach has shrunk. And I'm sure your cravings have gone down and
yeah,
everything has gone down because you know, too, that, okay, my meals are prepared, everything is there. I got to go about my way. I got to do my work
yeah.
now, and
Portion
I'm
control.
forced.
Yeah, portion control is huge. It's like have I don't know if anybody's ever been guilty of like having so much food on their plate that they feel like they need to eat it, and then after they eat it, they're just tired, like so tired and feel depleted. But somehow, whatever you might have eaten might make you hungry in like an hour or two.
And it's usually ultra processed food that does that to you. Usually,
Yeah,
the cheap food or whatever the case
yeah,
is
it's
will be
crazy.
full of salt or
It's
sodium that's
crazy. Yeah,
not really good for you. And what that does is that it blows you up.
yeah,
You ate it and you feel like so bloated and good. And then in 2 hours, you're like, wait, did I even eat? And then you start and you're like, wait a second.
yeah. Like
I just ate 1,000 calorie meal. And in 2 hours, I'm
somehow,
like,
yeah, somehow your body's asking like it's crazy. Yeah,
it's insane, right? So
yeah,
like a lot of people ignore that. Like, the symptoms of
yeah.
that's like
Some people do
ignoring
it
it.
without even knowing it.
But yeah, of
Yeah,
course. No, it
yeah,
becomes subconscious because you do it
yeah,
all the time, and now all of a sudden you it's about mind over matter because
yeah.
your body's telling you you're hungry, but are you really hungry or you just need water?
Yeah, I think that
You know,
also
it's a
I think also like one of the things that I like to tell people is like keep track of your calories when you work out, right? If you just literally just killed yourself in a 50-minute hit class, burn anywhere between like 450 to maybe 1,000 plus calories, depending who the person is, depending how hard they're weighing, how whatever the case may be. All that's just a range. Now just look at food and compare it. Like this one meal is like 1,500 calories, but I did a 50-minute workout. I only burned 550. Like those are the things that we people just start to like really look at and just find that balance of like food to workout. Like how much work you got to put in, like to burn that off.
yeah, no. I mean, you that's what happens when you decide to make a change and you know go into this environment where it's not just a workout, it's about what you put
Yeah,
into your sleep. It's a overall lifestyle. That's very, very important. And these days it's important to be like this because of everything that's going on, all these diseases, all these chronic diseases that are coming
yeah,
out. Like the stats are coming out, especially after the pandemic. Like it's scary, man. It's very, very scary. And to be overweight and obese, it's very scary because you're at risk.
yeah,
Number one risk for COVID death during the 2020 pandemic was obesity and overweight. Obesity and overweight. Like at this point, that shouldn't be an excuse anymore. The availability of good food, great trainers, everything is there. And which leads to the next question of virtual, right? So what do you think about the virtual training aspect? I know you're doing it now. How do you feel that it's helped clients achieve better results? Because now sometimes they don't even have to come down to you sometimes, or sometimes they'll do the class and they can't make this class, but then you would get on and do a quick virtual with them. Like, what you think that it helps a lot? And like I feel like doing these kind of things, whether it's in class and virtual consistently, it keeps them in that same pattern. Like, oh, okay, good. I missed today's workout, but I recorded it, so now I could just do it in my house, right? Or, hey, Daury, I couldn't make it today. Can you squeeze me in for tomorrow for a quick virtual and we could get this going again? Like it keeps the pattern going. It keeps the energy levels going, right?
Yeah.
Because a
So
lot of times the gym closes and you're like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Or I couldn't get there. But now there's so many options.
so I teach about 13 of 15 virtual classes. Kettlebell dumbbells, equipment classes, or bodyweight classes. I'm open to take anyone at any level of fitness. So, um, I always record all of my classes. Not every single one. So if I have an equipment class at 6 and I have another one at 9, I'll record the 6 a.m. and I'll upload it onto the on demand platform. And you can take it at any time. You can go on vacation, you can go somewhere, you have that workout that's there. And then you could join me from anywhere. I have a lot of clients that through the pandemic had moved out of the States or just even if it's like PA or West Coast or whatnot, and they join me. And that's why I teach like later morning classes also. Um, I train my clients one on one. A lot of my clients travel in this during the summer. They go out east, then they like they don't have a gym or they don't want to go to it. They just don't like what's around. They stay loyal to me, and they get their workouts with me. I train them one on one. I love it. I think it's great. I mean, there's so many big companies, or I don't even really need to say specific companies that are up and surviving through mainstream through streaming. They, you barely go. You can go to the studio if you want in person. That's great. But some people, I feel like some people just don't like to be around people. There's some people who just like wants to just kind of be in the cut in their own space, work out, do their own thing, or they have kids. Like this morning, I have a client. She was in my class. She has two kids. I think one of her daughters is like 3 or 4. She has like a 1 year old. It's tough for her to go and get childcare just to go to the gym and get a workout. She has it in the comfort of her living room. Buy some equipment. That's it, and keep it going. And then in-person classes, I coach also. Um, it's not like an in-person class, man. The vibe is electric.
The
The
motivation,
motivation,
everything.
the
You
the
make sure
community.
people have to show up. They got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
come and make sure they show up,
yeah.
you know?
The community. Um, and that's it. I try to motivate everyone and anyone to get up off their ass and get it done. If you have no energy to get a workout, all you got to do is have enough energy to click the sign up button. And once you sign up, it's a wrap because now you're now you're with me. Now it's like, okay, I know that I didn't want to work out, but Dross is somehow gonna stir this up like a good latte, and we're gonna have a good time and get a lot of energy, get all the movements out, get all the kinks out, get all the stress out, and just feel better and great at the end of the workout.
I love that. I mean, I that's a big part of my day. Like I train early in the morning. So I have three boys too, and I have a very busy schedule between the kids
Sure.
and then working and virtual
Yeah,
and
man.
all that. And then my kids also play competitive sports, and
Nice.
my kids work out too. So that's it's a lot of work, and I had to make some sacrifices too. And in order for me to get my workout in, I have to get up at 4:45 a.m. and
Yeah.
I'm in the gym at 5:05, and I got to train. And it's not something I wanted to do, but over the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years now, I've been getting like the best workouts. I feel like I'm very
Yeah.
focused for the day,
I feel like we
you
get
know,
better as we get older.
as we get older.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah.
say, like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, you're looking better than what you were
Yeah.
when you were 20. And I'm
It's
like,
crazy.
yeah, I do because I care about
Yeah.
myself. As you get older,
Preservation, man. You
I
gotta
want to
preserve
make
the
sure
body, man.
people don't understand that. That's very important. As you
Yeah.
get older, you need to be healthy to stay alive longer. It's important. It's very
Yeah.
important, and I believe in you don't use it, you lose it, right?
100%.
So a lot of people, oh my knee,
Man,
oh my
talking about
ankle, oh.
use it or lose it, right? Even this morning, just that just brought me to like a traumatic point. I was putting on some shoes this morning, and I had not worn them in so long that the sole was like coming off. And that's a perfect example. You
Perfect
know how many people
example.
have shoes in the closet? They don't. I'm gonna preserve these, and I'm gonna wait for them, and then you put them on, and your soul just crumbles. Saying like that, you gotta use that body, man. Move it. It's the best tool that you have.
But with the
Use it.
availability of the different workouts and everything else, you could train around it. And I tell people all the time, I have shoulder issues. I have
Oh man,
tennis elbow,
we're
and,
gonna talk injuries now.
but you see,
Listen, man, I got shoulder surgery in 2018.
and you're
I
still
got I
training.
got three bulging discs on my lumbar spine from a hit and car run accident. Uh,